Hey, I'm Dr. Eddie O'Connor. I'm a clinical and sports psychologist, but I'm actually talking to you as a father of four, three boys and a teenage daughter. In reaction to the sentencing of Larry Nassar for his horrible abuse against the young girls and women at USA Gymnastics and MSU that were entrusted into his care. And I wonder, like, how did this happen? And rightfully so, there's all this conversation and aggravation about who's responsible and who knew about this and what do we do to protect these athletes from these predators and what policies and procedures do we put into place, and it all has a place, but I wonder if I can change the conversation, if I can help us as men start to take some ownership of this. Because while we've got women fighting for equal rights and against sexual abuse, I'm wondering where's the voice of men? Why is it women fighting for themselves? Why aren't we as men fighting for them? We're the problem. Men are the perpetrators in this violence against women. So where's the men's voice? No, I don't want to turn this into male bashing and start placing blame. And by all means, I am not preaching because I'm not above the things that I'm going to be talking about here, which ultimately is how do we get into this position? What is it about the way our world is, our culture, that allows this objectification of women so that it goes to such the extreme that such abuses can occur? I'm encouraging the men out there to let's be responsible. Let's just, wherever we are in the spectrum, realize that we're contributing to this. Every one of us. Again, I'm not preaching. I'm not better than this issue. And on the most extreme and horrible end, there's the rape and the sexual abuse. And we all know, most of us know how wrong that is. But we're also very far from the other end where we need to be, where we look at each other as human beings first, and we recognize that there's a soul, a spirit, a person with feelings, with desires and dreams and independent thoughts behind the bodies that we're looking at. I mean, somewhere I think most of us are in the middle. Or we might playfully comment on how beautiful somebody is. As you go a little bit further, we may be more attracted to those outer qualities. And then you get closer to this end with putting physical first. And again, I'm not preaching, but what I'm saying is when we do that, people get hurt. And I'm wondering, how do we scale it back? And I want to challenge fathers in particular, that the men in this world, if we could be better, if we could have a new model of manhood, one where we accept responsibility, where we take the responsibility to protect the women in our lives, not because they're weak, but because that's the right thing to do, protect them from us. And can we teach that model of manhood to our sons who think that physicality and sexual conquests or any number of other things, achievement or this or that, makes them a man? What if they could see from us, strong men, that being a strong man means being responsible, being accountable, treating women with respect? I wonder what would happen if every man invested in their sons this new model of manhood. And this isn't one conversation that we have. This is a way that we have. We've got our boys for 18 years. What if we did this on a daily basis or weekly basis where, somebody's being objectified on TV and we pause it and we kind of explain that's really not how we want to treat women. Guys are hanging out and they see a beautiful woman in a skimpy bikini and people are looking and maybe making some comments, and we just calmly make a comment to our son, hey, don't forget she's a person too with feelings and thoughts and insecurities. Don't lose that. We don't have to be scolding. Again, like I said, we're not preaching and making people feel bad. We're just bring awareness to it and turn it back and remind people, boys in particular, men, that women are people too, which sounds crazy just saying that. Like, of course they are, but don't we forget. Coaches, what an opportunity to be in a locker room. And I'm not saying every locker room is like this, but when these conversations go on about, sexual conquest or what we're going to do this weekend, and you really see it, instead of just saying, oh, well, look, I don't participate, I don't condone it. What if you were active and as a coach, as a father figure, as a model of manhood, stood up and said, hey guys, cut that out. We don't do that here. That's not the way that we treat women. Remember, these are real people. Treat them as such. Can we do it with a tone of voice that's matter of fact, that sets the bar higher than where it is right now? And can we pour into our young men as fathers, as coaches, so that my daughter is in a safer world, so that my yet to be born granddaughters and great granddaughters can grow up in a culture that isn't as dangerous as it is now? And that brings me to the women who might be listening to this, that if you've been hurt in any way by men, on the extreme case to the smallest objectification, I'm sorry. On behalf of men, I am so sorry for what has happened to you. And I'm sorry that as men we have failed you. We need to be better. And I invite the men out there to take that responsibility and be better for the women we love.